What is going on? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing round two of this mock draft 3.1. If you are new, feel free to check out round number one first. We're going to be doing a quick recap right here, but feel free to stick around, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear what y'all think down in the comments section below. There's going to be quite a few disagreements, and that is a-okay. My board's below my face. Below that are all of my links. Feel free to use my Underdog Fantasy code to be able to match up to $100 on your first deposit, and then it helps out your boy as well. Let's jump right into this. Pick number 33. Well, might as well describe what happened. We did a trade back with the Chicago Bears because Dallas Turner was on the board, but I did promise a recap, and I'm going to let y'all read. We had small trades up in here. There wasn't anything too insane. Obviously, we had some big moves here and there, but nothing to, break the bank, so to speak. We didn't have multiple firsts traded whatsoever. So we are now here at pick number 33. I like the idea of defensive interior on the squad. I like the idea of wide receiver. Some people bring up the idea of linebacker. I think at this point, since we were able to acquire enough draft capital by moving back and just get a little bit more sweetness in the deal, we're going to go Tyleik Williams out of the Ohio State University, 330 pounds, complete freak athletically. Somebody where if y'all ended up taking him at 26, I'd personally be fine with it. I would. But y'all ended up being able to snag some good draft capital there. Pick number 34 for the Saints. We ended up trading. No, we did not trade with this pick. This was part of the Sean Payton trade. So I think at this spot, you could even look at Tyler Nubbin, but I believe we ended up getting a safety in Cooper DeJean, cornerback safety hybrid. Now, wide receiver is a great move for this team. I think that'd be a fun option, but also, I mean, there's a couple routes this team could go. You could go the linebacker route. I do think that continuing to invest in that defensive second level is not a bad idea. Now, wide receiver again, I just do there's really good players here, but also the QB position. I know we won't get that 5th-year contract, but you can get Quinn Ewers at this point, Joe Milton, who has a cannon arm. I personally would love to develop Joe Milton because we're seeing that he's pretty much, in my opinion, Jameis Winston. So I think this would be a great option. It's Jameis Winston with more weight, and we're going to see what happens there. I haven't given up on Joe Milton just yet, and I'm going to hold out some hope for the guy as the season progresses. Pick number 35, we had a small trade up for Drake May. I don't think Gardner Center really needs to be upgraded. I think they just need to get back to 100% and just end up getting a little more cohesion. Just be a little bit better overall. I think corner is the position I would love to target for this team because they kind of need it. And you got Denzel Burke here, who's used to playing up in those environments. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a very, very good asset on this squad. So Denzel Burke pairing up with Mekhi Blackmon for the future. Pick number 36, edge rusher. Finally, we got some god tier edge rushers still on the board. I'm starting to really like JT. I'm starting to really like Princely. Jack Sawyer's getting better and better. Chop Robinson's getting better and better. Leatu Latu. There are a lot of really, really good players on the board right now. So you can't really go wrong. I'm not going to replace a Penn State edge rusher with a Penn State edge rusher. I think Leatu Latu is a little bit more freaky. And for that reason, because he will probably have a little more length than JT, that's why I will go with him. But technically, JT is graded higher than Leatu Latu on my board. So there you go. I haven't updated this board beneath my face to fully reflect the edge rushers because I want a little bit more game tape on all the edge rushers before I get to fully update that. Pick number 37 for the Chargers. Ended up getting Brock Bowers in round number 1. Don't think they're going to be here remotely, but we're just going to enjoy the ride. I don't know how much longer Eric Kendricks will want to stay on the team because then you can just get Tommy Eichenberg to pretty much replace him, Jeremiah Trotter as well. Running back is a genuine concern, but this is a very deep running back class. You could look for a right tackle, and unfortunately, I don't really think there is another right tackle that I genuinely like in this class. So that's a little bit unfortunate there. You got guys like Darius Davis to be good backups at wide receiver to add those extra roles. You could look at a secondary player like a corner. Kamari Lassiter could get trained up. we could see what happens there. But I think what the smart move could be is defensive interior here as well. Michael Hall did pretty damn well, but there's another defensive interior on Ohio State. I'm forgetting what his name is. He looks better than Michael Hall does. Michael Hall looks like the third best interior defensive lineman on that team. I would prefer to go after someone like Rook Ororo or Mason Smith, but Rook is just a little bit more versatile, a little bit more seasoned as well because of the fact that Mason is coming back off of an ACL tear. Pick number 38, defensive interior, big need for the Raiders. Linebacker, big need for the Raiders. So the question is, what has more value now and what's going to have more value later? So defensive interior, you can go Mason Smith. That'd be a very good addition. But I can wait and then end up getting Tavondre Sweat and Tyler Davis. And at the linebacker spot, I can get the top linebackers, or I can wait for guys like Jalen Ford. And I feel a lot more comfortable getting a guaranteed starter. And to me, Tommy Eichenberg, until proven otherwise, is one of, if not the best linebacker in the class. If you want Barrett Carter, if you want to go after, Jeremiah Trotter, go for it. I think those are phenomenal options. We have 3 really good linebackers in this class until I find another one that I end up falling in love with which happens every single year. Last year, it was, speaking of the Vikings, it was Ivan Pace Jr. So, I fell in love with him very late into the process. Pick number 39, another team that could be open to this linebacker market. So I do think we ended up going Malik Neighbors in round number 1, and we did. So that's great. I think Malik Neighbors is an excellent addition. And it is kind of that guy who makes the whole entire core well-rounded. And it's kind of weird. I think we might continue to invest in the offense here, even though it's working very well, because tight end is not it, even though Brevin Jordan is someone who I fell in love with as well. I think that, especially because he's not going to have too many years left on his contract, grabbing a guy like Jatavian Sanders and keeping him in Texas is going to be an excellent move. Pick number 40 for the Titans. Got Joe Alt in round number 1. We could look at another defensive back here. I don't really know why they're saying wide receiver. It's not that big of a need to me. I would look, honestly, at another edge rusher to pair up with Arden Key. And I'm looking at it, Princely as well as JT are both excellent choices as well. I think I'm going to go JT Tuimalau at this point. I do like Chop Robinson. I'm not shitting on Chop. There's a lot of really good edge rushers in this class. I think there's 3 creme de la creme, but they're starting to prove that they're improving and being a little bit more NFL ready than I gave them credit for. Pick number 41 would have been great for Jatavian Sanders. I'd be open for Jaheim Bell. To be honest, this tight end class is kind of ass, though. Jaheim Bell has been easily the third, if not worse, option there at Florida State. Luke Lackey's not that great. Cade Stover, he's honestly improved quite a bit, but still not incredible. We ended up going J.C. Latham in round number 1. I know that actually, not just talking about this, but a lot of people have been bringing up defensive interior as a legitimate need on this team. And this is where I would feel comfortable taking Mason Smith, because you don't need him, but he's still going to be an addition to the team. 6'6", 300 pounds. Just a very unique, freaky build. I think that so far from what I've seen, my one issue with him is that he doesn't always keep his legs turning, and sometimes he gets stuffed up, but that's something that could potentially be tweaked there. And at 41, it's worth taking a shot on. Pick number 42 for the Jaguars. So we ended up, I believe, we actually ended up taking Keon Coleman. And now is the time to go after a guard prospect. I got Cooper Beebe here. Already drafted Troy Fautanu. I really like Donovan Jackson as well. I have him graded pretty highly. Cooper Beebe, he's just really consistent. But, Zach Zinter's a good addition as well. Donovan Jackson, man, I don't know why he's not getting as much love as he should, but I'm going to draft him here. Very athletic. I think that's something that Balky really does like. So you're going to be able to get a highly athletic offensive lineman that he pretty much could play tackle as well. He has tackle length. And, just having that versatility there is always coveted. Pick number 43. This is either going to be a running back, probably no lineman. This is where the first running back is going to come off the board. And it's actually going to be I want to go Rocket Sanders here. I'm just going to be completely blunt. I love Rocket Sanders. My only issue is that the running back that swapped in, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, looked absolutely awesome as well. It could make teams wonder if it's the system or just Rocket Sanders, because it made me question whether it was a system or Rocket Sanders. Blake Corum looked honestly quite a bit slow versus Rutgers. Like, he didn't look like himself last year. Hope he continues to get more comfortable on that knee. Trey Benson's incredible. I just don't think this is the guy that the Packers will go for. Braylon Allen's someone who I think he's very role specific. I think he'd work well in Green Bay, but at the same time, I think that he's a guy who I'd draft 4th round. And I know that sounds insane, but I just don't think he's very versatile. I don't trust him as a pass catcher remotely. No, it's not the role he needs to fill, but there's just a lot better all around running backs. And you know what? I'm just going to show my homerism here. This man, Marshawn Lloyd, if he gets his fumbling issue out of the way and he gets to break tackles just like 10% better, he's easily the best running back in the class. I haven't seen guys with this type of vision and athleticism. Like, he reminds me of a better version of Bryce Hall, and it's incredible. So I'm going to show my homerism here. Marshawn Lloyd, if you don't like that pick, please just go watch some tape of him. It's all over on YouTube. You could literally just say Marshawn Lloyd versus, and then it will pop up with some game tape. Do a Barrel Roll is perfect for that. For those of you who know who that is, he's a channel that posts a lot of, this offense versus. And, for those of y'all who are going to be doing a lot of scouting like this, it's a lifesaver. I will completely admit that. So Marshawn Lloyd is going to be the selection there. I think he's absolutely awesome. He's my dream pick for the Eagles. I have him actually comped to DeAndre Swift. Pick number 44. So honestly, I would love to see Trey Benson on this team. I'm not going to do that. I just had to call that out as it is. It was one of my gut feelings. Because Javon Foster's been playing so much better, and I do have Javon as a top 50 player, and he was he's graded out very, very well. I'm going to be taking him here for the Patriots. He actually comped as Trent Williams, like 80% of Trent Williams when I first studied him. He was awesome. Showed out last year versus Georgia. That's really what caught my eye. My one issue with him was that he got beat multiple games in a row by the same move, which shows that he's not learning how to fix his weaknesses. But he's still been performing very, very well. Missouri's been absolutely kicking ass. So good for them, especially since they have a kicker who can kick like 61-yard field goals all of a sudden. Pick number 65 for Arizona. Talked about defensive interiors earlier. Want to check what we did exactly. Jerzon Newton, we actually got the defensive interior. And Kalen King. So at this spot, especially because of the fact that I have actually been going pretty defensive interior heavy, this is what we'd be down to. It would essentially be Tyler Davis, Tavondre Sweat, Mekhi Wingo, Dante Corleone, which is a good group. McKinley Jackson as well. Good group of guys, but not necessarily the ones to move the needle as much as I'd want. Wide receiver wise, you look at the guys available. Troy Franklin, you combine him, like that's the MVS role that I think this team could desperately use. And I love Troy Franklin. So, he is right here at number 29 on my board. Spectacular player. So this is honestly a steal, and you get to keep him there in that Pac-12 range, even though, God only knows how much longer that's going to exist. But Troy Franklin's incredible, and he's going to be a massive impact there. Pick number 46. So New York, we ended up trading back, right? We ended up trading back and selecting a top-tier wide receiver in Johnny Wilson. I still think a linebacker could be in the positional group here. There are trades that can happen. Remember, this is a trades mock draft, but there's some really good players who are on the board. Could go Chop Robinson, develop an edge rusher, because he's incredible. He's a very good player. But I am looking at this. Linebacker, to me, still needs to be filled. And you got Jeremiah Trotter and Barrett Carter here. I'm going to go after Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Pick number 47. Honestly, the Rams, I think Barrett Carter will be the better choice than anything. Might snag him from the Eagles right now just by doing that. So RIP to the Eagles. But, for me, when I see a team that could totally use some leadership, this is just excellent value for that. So Barrett Carter as well as Jared Verse is going to be top tier selections for the Rams. And it's a good way to get back on track. Pick number 48 for the Eagles. We still have good players like Tyler Newman on the board. Chop Robinson, unfortunately, we ended up taking Braylon Trice in the first round. Not unfortunately, it's still a great player. But you could look at running back here. I think that it's way too early for the Eagles to value running back that highly. Unfortunately, no right tackles to develop. Corner, definitely do think you could take someone like Kamari and potentially even use him as a flex safety. But this team's also been sniping dudes down the board at those positions. Tight end is not an out of the realm position, but I do think wide receiver is the way to go. My one thing I'm looking for, Troy Franklin would have been perfect for this. I want someone to replace Quez. That's just my goal right at the moment. Looking at the next best guy to do that, that's Jermaine Burton. And Jermaine Burton's been spectacular. One of the most underrated receivers I have ever seen. I don't know why zero people are talking about him. And you know what? I'm going to take him for this team. And because we just want to show some love to Mario Williams, we'll use him as the placeholder. But also, it's the same color as the school. This is Jermaine Burton out of Georgia. Spectacular player overall. Just watch him. You'll be surprised at how good he is, and just nobody's talking about him. He was a monster there at Georgia, just has been a little bit under the radar. But this guy, in terms of getting separations, ridiculous. Aggressive catch as well, ridiculous. So I definitely love what, not Mario Williams, but Jermaine Burton can bring to the Philadelphia Eagles. Pick number 49. We ended up trading up just a little bit in the past round for the Buccaneers to grab a star quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. So got to select our star quarterback right there. Now, I don't think this team needs very much, so I'd potentially just try to invest in higher upside players. You could look at the offensive line here, and you can get Cooper Beebe to be a consistent guard for you that, I mean, in worst case scenario, can kick to tackle if need be. I wouldn't do that. Christian Mahogany, still waiting to see some more translatable tape for him because he is coming off an ACL tear. Zach Zinter is incredible as well. So you can go any which way. I think Cooper Beebe, because he potentially can swap at tackle, would be a valuable asset for this squad. Now, you have 2 second-round interior offensive linemen that are going to be starting for you. And then eventually you'll have a successor there at center for Ryan Jensen. Pick number 50 for the Cowboys. Did we go linebacker for him? We did not. I don't remember we did. We went after Graham Barton. So at this point, do we just go back into Penn State and get another edge rusher? We've had enough issues with the law with Sam Williams. We could certainly actually do that. I don't think that's an awful decision. I think linebacker is a place where I'd want to go. And this class is just not good at linebacker. Based on what I've seen so far, there's plenty of other guys who will just end up rising up the board. So fingers crossed on that one. I think the best thing to do is just continue developing the secondary. You know, after Trevon Diggs tears his ACL, I think Jason Marshall's a perfect guy to come in and step in where need be. Pick number 51. So we got our running back there in Marshawn Lloyd. I think Chop Robinson, such good value. We got Cameron Kinchins. I might get Tyler Nubin anyways. Just sometimes the value is too good with some of these players, and you just have to pull the trigger. You're looking at the quarterbacks here, too, starting to fall. You got Quinn Ewers. This is a team that could be open to taking Quinn. Just not many teams need a quarterback. Honestly, not many do. So, again, offensive line-wise, you could look for somebody to replace Elton Jenkins for him to move to tackle, and then have Zach Tom switch to the other side if Bakhtiari is gone. That is a certainly viable move. But, I'm looking at this right now. I might want to just go back-to-back safeties. I might, because Tyler Nubin's just too damn valuable. Linebackers have not been performing well either. That is potential concern. But let me know what you think. I'm going to go 2 safeties and a running back for the Packers. It does seem like a Packers thing to do, of course, because we all never agree with their positional value or their value in general, but they do know how to remain competitive. At pick number 52, the Browns don't really need much because, again, that's just what they are. I think at this point, I know DTR has been a hit. I think it's too good to not bring in competition, and I'm going to go Quinn Ewers. I'm going to have him come in because Deshaun just hasn't been playing well enough to be legitimately there. I know they owe him too much money, but at this point, then you're going to be within a couple years, and Quinn Ewers still needs a little bit of time to develop. Pick number 53, I'm probably going to take Chop Robinson here to develop. Just want to double check. I think got Taliese Fuwaga, the right tackle out of Oregon State there for him. And this is going to be Chop Robinson to sit and develop as an edge rusher. Pick number 54, another spot that would have been good for Chop Robinson. We have the Washington Commanders. We got a tackle for him in round number 1 in Tyler Guyton. Now, I do think that continuing to bolster the offensive line, never a bad idea. Jordan Morgan's not bad. I need to see more of him after his ACL tear because he tore in his last game, which is a big RIP. Other positions they could address, linebacker already addressed, that's completely buns. Edge rusher, honestly, we are potentially going to be looking at the departure of Chase Young, and Princely is a freaking monster. Same thing with Brandon Dorless, but Dorless is like 290. He's a weird build. Princely's about that 255 range, which is a little bit lighter than what y'all are used to, but my big issue with him was that he looked like he was playing in slow motion last year. He's turned it on this year. He's a phenomenal player. Very excited to see what he can do at the next level. Pick number 55. So we've already gotten a defensive interior, I believe, in Leonard Taylor. Hell yeah. So linebacker, again, it just sucks right now. That's a problem. There's just not a good enough guy. Like, again, I could go like Tyron Hopper right here and have a really good pass rusher. That's just not what you're looking for. Just go to free agency and grab somebody. Other positions of note. Again, I've always believed in this team, so they don't really need much. Quarterback, though, this is a great time to go and develop a guy like JJ McCarthy. He fits the system too. Lots of rollouts. He does fit the system very well. You might as well take your shot on him if he falls to you here. Pick number 56 for the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a running back. We've gone after a corner. Now we're going a running back. Trey Benson is a perfect example of what the Ravens should not get as a Steelers fan, but should get in terms of the best interest of the team. Pick number 57. So we ended up snagging did we get a defense interior? Yeah, Chris Jenkins. Hell yeah. Love that for y'all. Now we're going to go after a corner number 1. You got Kamari Laster here. I'm going to just take him because the upside's too damn good. He's going to be in the 4-2 range, and you're taking away from the Eagles. So another reason why to celebrate. Pick number 58 for the Chiefs. We ended up trading back out of the first round to get Tyleik Williams earlier in this. So defensive interior is now locked down. I got Xavier Worthy here, and I think that would be an excellent move for the team to get another really good deep threat. And, I think there are other deep threats I might like a little bit more. But again, blending my board with realism and with the fact that Tank Dell's been performing well, Xavier Worthy's size, not as much of a concern probably after that. Bo Nix is now commanding the Falcons, and pretty sure, 99% sure that's where I went. Yeah. Now we can look at edge rushers as well. They actually ended up investing a lot in higher weight edge rushers like Zach Harrison with their pick, but also Bud Dupree. And then they actually got an interior defensive lineman in Calais Campbell there. Brandon Dorless could be a weird hybrid guy that I would love to see paired up with Zach Harrison. He's 290, but he does play edge, and he plays it very, very well. Just has a super high missed tackle rate. That's his one issue. Pick number 60 for the Colts. We ended up going after Christian Haynes. And honestly, Josh Newton fit this team very well. Shaw Smith-Wade, another honorable mention in that category. Already went after Dwight McGlothern as well, because I believe that's who I sent to the Ravens. So Josh Newton going to be there, pairing up with another Big 12 guy in Julius Brents, excuse me. Pick number 61 for the Steelers. Another team that could look at a cornerback. Another team that could look at a linebacker. None of the above is good. I think that we could be in the market for a guy like James Williams, who's going to be a weird safety linebacker hybrid at 6'5", 220, 225 pounds. And honestly, it's worth taking. Strong safety is just something we've been rotating quite a bit with a lot of veterans. Finally, time to get our guy to step in there. Pick number 62, another team that could use a linebacker. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we ended up taking a wide receiver. Did we take a wide receiver? We did, in Jermaine Burton, as well as Braylon Trice. Now, again, this team doesn't need much. So you could take a running back for this team. Bucky Irving would be an absolute stud. At this point, Rocket Sanders at his 242 weight, we're going to take it. Rocket Sanders, it's just sometimes the value is just too good. I know I haven't had any trades in this, but I just have liked all of these picks. Pick number 63. We still have Riley Leonard on the board. I'm not taking Shadur Sanders, by the way. So forgot to mention that earlier just because Daddy Sanders said no. We'll see what happens with that. But you still got, Riley Leonard on the board that could be taken in this range. Looking at guys who could be trade-up options because, for the Dolphins, what did I end up taking for y'all? Troy Fautanu. Oh, that's a beast of a pick. I know, tapping myself on the back here. But, Jaheim Bell's actually such a good fit. We'll go Jaheim Bell. I know round 2 with trades as absolutely no trades. Ending off with the Niners, we ended up going Kalen Bullock. There's not many good offensive linemen here, so this is actually where I will end up probably having a trade because looking at the safeties, you got Jaden Hicks, but I've already taken a safety for this team. You looking at the edge rushers, is there anybody to move up for? No. Wide receivers, you still have really good running backs, though. Really good running backs on the board. Bucky Irving needs to be moved up for. So I'm going to see a team that potentially would be in the mood to move up for a running back. I'm looking actually right here at the Vikings. That's a really short range trade, too. Do we not have the Vikings pick? Or did I trade it away? I traded it away, didn't I? Bastards. Did I really trade that away? Why is it with the Lions? Oh, that hurts my heart. That really does. That really hurts. Damn. I was very excited to go up with the Vikings for that pick. But other teams that could be in the mood for a running back, I could see Carolina. I don't really think Miles Sanders is the answer there. And there's a pretty clear option. But you know what? We're going to move up the Los Angeles Chargers because they're not going to be here probably ever again. I think it will probably cost them maybe pick 141. But with the Niners having so many picks, maybe it'll be a conditional fifth. Maybe it'll be a 4th round pick. Who cares? We're going to end up moving up here with the Los Angeles Chargers to end up selecting Bucky Irving, running back out of Oregon, who is actually graded out as my RB2. So that is going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching. Glad we ended it off with a trade because now I can actually finally put trades in the title. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.